Welcome to another episode of the Roots and Wings Iwachu show, a show that explores the journeys of the Rwandan community abroad. Today it's a special episode where we are going to take you on another move. We are going to sing today. We are going to explore a journey of someone special. She's a singer, a Rwandan singer based in Canada, where music transcends borders and connects us to our roots. Today on Roots and Wings Iwachu, we are so happy to welcome Ikirezi Deborah. Deborah, welcome to our show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
We are happy to have you indeed. She is a gifted artist who blends soulful Rwandan classics with her own unique global sound, and we will today explore how does she navigate being a Rwandan in the Canadian community. She's an artist abroad, and we are also going to see what inspires her, how she keeps Rwanda at heart, and how she does her music. We will also get to know her journey and everything that she does and how she connects to her roots. Welcome again, Deborah, to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you briefly begin by introducing yourself to our viewers in a more appropriate way, like an artist, and also tell us when did you first realize that music was your passion?
Yes, so my name is Ikirezi Deborah, but I go by Ikirezi as my stage name. I am a singer, songwriter. I am a mental health advocate. And I'm originally, yes, from Rwanda, but I currently live in Ottawa, in Canada. So to share a little bit of when I realized music was a passion or how it came about, I think I've always been the type of person to love music. I've always loved music. I grew up around music. I sang in choirs and talent shows. And I realized that I really, really, really was passionate about music when I started writing. When I started writing my, and I felt the joy of like expressing, my emotions through my music, and was able to relate to a lot of people through songs.
Yeah, can you at least share with us a bit of the part of the song that you like most in all of your songs?
That's very hard because I do have a couple of songs that I really, really relate to. But recently I did release a song called Breathe. And to me, that song is kind of like an anthem of liberation. And a part of the song that I like is in Kinyarwanda. The song is in English as well as in Kinyarwanda, but I do sing and say, Oya sindi mbohe, sindi nimbatano, ndashaka amahoro, amahoro masa.
Thank you so much, Deborah. And I would like to know how old were you when you started doing music as a career?
So I launched my in 2018. And that's when I decided that I wanted to actually pursue music, not 100% full time, but I did know that I wanted to at least be considered an artist.
Coming back to the song that you just sang, Breathe, what inspired you to sing this song? What was the inspiration behind?
The inspiration is basically, we all know we have societal norms or societal boxes where everybody feels like society tells us where we need to be, how we need to look. And the song is basically me liberating myself from these societal norms and saying that I'm not a puppet to society, and my pace and my norm isn't supposed to be like everybody else because we're all unique in our own ways, right? So just allowing myself to breathe and to be free as well.
What you just said before, that you are a mental health advocate, what pushed you to go into that field?
Even with me saying that I am a mental health advocate, I studied the field. I studied social work. And the reason why I went into the field is because I realized a lot of times we pay so much attention to our physical health without actually knowing or thinking about our mental wellness. And a lot happens within our minds that affect us in our everyday lives. And I felt like a lot of people didn't understand the concept. And I saw a lot of people within my community, within my surroundings, struggling with mental health and mental wellness, but they did not know how to express it. They did not know where to get help or how to get help, and they did not understand it. So me going into this field, I felt really passionate about maybe advocating about some of the things that we may be feeling or we may be thinking about that we just don't know how to put words to. So within my advocacy, it's me basically giving a voice and maybe explaining some of the things that we go through that we may not understand or know.
Yeah, back to your musical journey and what you usually do on a daily basis. Which artists or genres influences you on a daily basis when you're writing your songs or when you're singing in your career as a musician?
I get inspired by a lot of different bits and pieces, especially when I write, I think about experience. But if we're talking about like artists per se, I grew up listening to a lot of Whitney Houston, Lauryn Hill, and like Miriam Makeba. They also all inspired me some way, somehow. There's like Kamariza, Cecile Kayirebwa, and I get bits and pieces from that as well. Gospel singers like Tasha Cobbs, Kiera Sheard, CeCe Winans.
Now, you mentioned some of the legends in the music in Rwanda, like Kamariza and Cecile Kayirebwa, and we have noticed that some of your songs are covers from these legends, such as Kamariza. How do you balance, like you have songs in English, but you also have songs in Kinyarwanda. How do you balance to do both? You are Rwandan, yes, but you live abroad, and you also are on the global scene, if I would call it like that. How do you balance staying true to your Rwandan roots, but also embracing global influences?
Yeah, so I'm definitely intentional about that because growing up here, so I've spent more than 20 years in Canada. And one of the things that I really wanted to do is having my music reflect my identity. So as a Rwandan and someone who's living abroad, I always make sure that yes, I do feel more comfortable writing in English and writing in English as well, singing in English, because I feel like I grew up, this language just comes easier for me. But I've come to embrace Kinyarwanda more as well because I felt like that was the only way to actually stay connected to my roots. And honestly, Kinyarwanda is a beautiful, beautiful language.
Still on that, going now to the culture, identity, and the Rwandan community abroad. First of all, I would like to ask you, what do you miss most when you're not in Rwanda, when you're in Canada?
The thing I miss the most is definitely the warmth of our people. Whenever I'm in Rwanda, I just love being able to go anywhere and just hear our language, see our people, the smiles, the warmth, and definitely the food.
What kind of food do you like the most? I mean, what do you eat the most when you're here?
I eat a lot of different types of food. Brochette. And
So apart from writing in Kinyarwanda now, how do you stay connected to your Rwandan identity being abroad? What other activities do you do to stay connected to your culture? Even though the biggest part of your life you've been living in Canada, but sometimes you come here more often to see your relatives or on other projects. But what other activities do you do to stay connected to your culture?
one thing that I really I'm very thankful about is the fact that my mom was very intentional about rooting us within our Rwandan identity and making sure that we stay connected to our roots. So I would say I try to stay connected through my family, language, and traditions. Some of the activities that I do is I attend community events and I just engage in the Rwandan diaspora, and that really helps me stay grounded.
Would you give us some of the examples of how your mother would help you stay connected to your culture? Because you just said she was so intentional about it. Would you like a little bit give us examples of what she would do to help you stay connected?
So my mom would always listen to Rwanda at home. English, French, that's outside. With her, I would always have to speak in Kinyarwanda. Also, like cooking meals, Rwandan meals. We would have ubugari, isombe, and also she used to dance in a traditional group called Indahemuka. So she would also teach us how to dance. Well, especially me, my brother, not so much, but she would teach me how to dance. And within teaching me how to dance, she would show me or tell me what some things would be called.
Connecting the culture with what you do as a profession, music, singing, how do you think, in your views, how do you think music help preserve the culture in your context?
In my context, it helps preserve it because it helps me reach a broader audience, and it helps me, like I said, spread awareness some way, somehow, of the culture and the traditions that we have. And like I was saying, Kinyarwanda is a beautiful language. So a lot of times people are curious to, especially people here in Canada who don't understand Kinyarwanda, they're curious to learn more about what I'm saying, where I'm from, what my name means. So yeah.
What you just mentioned about people there, do you sometimes organize concerts that helps you to showcase your products, in the music that you do, but also include the Kinyarwanda culture so that the people there in Canada can know about your culture and about your whereabouts?
Yes, so personally, I've organized 2 concerts a long time ago in 2018 and 2019. But ever since, I've participated in different festivals, festivals like the Blues Fest or Afro Fest, where I was able to showcase my music and incorporate my culture and traditions in there.
So now there is one song, I would like to give you a compliment on that, Rusaro Rubasumba, I love it. And in that song, it has a strong traditional feel. The way you sang it, in the production, the visuals, there are dances, Kinyarwanda dances, but there are also the attire, imishanana. What inspired this song, and what is the significance of showcasing cultural elements in your work?
Yes, so Ruasumba is actually very close and dear to me because it's a song that I wrote for my mom. In her, like I said, she danced in a troupe in the Himuka, and her stage name was Rusaro Ruasumba. So basically the song is about journey within everything that she went through in life, raised me and my brother, and how resilient and strong she had to be. And she took those challenges and those obstacles and taught us to be strong and everything. So, I really wanted to every she has taught us. So the dancing, her being able to fight for our country and flying outside and coming to a country where she knew nothing and know nobody and was still able to survive and make a good living out of it.
Can you also sing for us a small part that you love most about that song?
The part that I love the most is Wafashingambu tazuyas Shinjajiru dasoanya Reka tuguhunde wikiza Shenjurindwe icyasha. soko nashotse nkashira inyota nganya iki kubaruta wabaye indahemuka ma ukwiye ikamba.
Why do you like that part the most in the song?
Because about how she stood her ground in places where she knew nothing about. And it talks about how the same way she protected us is the same way that I'll do everything that I can. Me and my brother will do everything we can to, protect her and protect her name and, just basically praising her for everything that she's done and how she deserves a crown because she's a queen.
Still on the culture and the Rwandan identity in general, language and culture are some of the things that can easily fade when people live in diaspora for a long time. Like you said, you've been living there for like 20 years, but in your own perceptions, what do you think can be done for people living abroad to keep to help promote the Rwandan culture, but also to keep being connected to their culture, even though they are abroad searching for different things, means of living and everything?
Yeah. I really say that it starts with storytelling. So through music, dance, language, we pass down our stories. And, I guess one thing that really helped us is the fact that my mom was really adamant in teaching us Kinyarwanda actively at home and celebrating our traditions. I was very lucky to grow up in a community or in a place where the community is very strong and very active when it comes to celebrating our traditions and our cultures. Like we have celebrations every time there's a holiday in Rwanda. We have Kwibuka, we have dance classes, Kinyarwanda classes. It's just to engage in cultural events.
Back to the musical journey. Have you ever collaborated or featured in a song with any other Rwandan artist living there or in any other country abroad, not in Rwanda? Or if not, do you plan to do so? And do you really think it's really important in the sense of preserving the culture and also to preserve our language, Kinyarwanda?
Yes, definitely. I do believe that when artists come together, there's so much story that can be told. And I have collaborated with one of my cousins, Lionel Senhore, who lives in Belgium. I do plan on collaborating with other artists as well, who are more from Rwanda and from here, Canada as well.
Are you currently working on new projects in music or new album or any collaboration, especially in Kinyarwanda?
Yes, so I am working on a few projects. When I left Kigali, I was actually still working on some new projects. So, yes, some new music coming soon.
Yeah, as a mental health now advocate, do you see yourself also doing that for our community? Are there any projects in mental health that you plan to do, like in Rwanda, as a hand to your community?
Yes, of course. I actually do talk a lot about mental health on my social media because that's what I have right now. I do plan on broadening my resources and my knowledge on it. Right now, what I am doing, I do have a Instagram page called Soul Flow Wellness. And what I do is I share information about mental wellness, some information about some of the things that we think that we know, but we don't really understand. And that's a way for me to kind of advocate and also spread awareness.
You just told us that you collaborated with your cousin, and you said you would also want to feature with other Rwandan artists. But I would like to ask this specific question. If you could collaborate with any Rwandan artist, who would it be and why?
Actually, one of the people that I really want to collaborate with is my father. My dad has a lot of experience, and I feel like even though we are blood related, I feel like his experience and my experience is a lot different when it comes to music. And I feel like our sounds would bring something that would be different coming from, father-daughter dynamic, but completely different sounds and backgrounds.
Now, speaking of that, your father is a legendary music artist here in Rwanda, and I would say internationally, because most of his songs is about culture. Masamba Intore is well known. Did did his songs influence you in one way or the other in your career?
Yes, of course. I feel like even with me learning to speak Rwanda, I really had to tap in and really listen to his songs and always ask questions about what does this mean and what does that mean. And I found that a lot of his songs had a lot of history behind them. And it wasn't just like, oh, this song is written out of just the vibes. There was a story why they wrote it that way. There was history behind it. So all of that I was able to incorporate in my own sounds and my own music because I do like to write from a place of experience and emotions.
Time is not on our side, but I would like to ask you, what message would you like to share with your audience, but also the Rwandan community abroad, living in various countries? What message would you like to share with them?
I would say always stick to your roots. As someone in the diaspora, I know it's hard. It's hard to find your place, especially if you've been abroad for a long, long, long time. Sometimes you don't find yourself. When you're with the people from here, you are too African. And when you are with your Rwandans and Africans, you're too white. But you have a place, and you can always engage in community events and be able to learn more about your culture. I feel like at the end of the day, we all are proud of our country and where it's come so far. And as Rwandans, there's a lot that we can share and there's a lot that we can voice within our stories and in this world. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone, chase that dream of yours, reach out for help and resources. And yes, that would be my message. And for those who are interested, make sure you check me out on YouTube and all my social media. I have a lot of songs on YouTube and all digital platforms. And yes, just here to spread joy, love, and peace through music.
Before we wrap up this episode, I would like to ask you one important question. Reflecting on your journey, what is one thing that you wish you had done, or known earlier?
I would definitely say that I wish I had known that it's okay to take my time. In the earlier stages of my career or the career launch, I often felt rushed or I felt pressure to look a certain way, to sing certain songs, and just present myself in a way that I thought people would want. And now I understand within my growth that number one, it does take time, and that every step of the journey is different and it matters. And your uniqueness is what makes you different, and it's what makes you stand out and have your own experiences. So learning to trust my path and everything that comes my way has been one of the most valuable lessons, I could say.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Ikirezi, for joining us in this episode of The Roots and Wings Iwachu. But I wouldn't let you go without you singing for us one of your English songs, a part of one of the songs you like the most.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me, Olive. And I know it's really a blessing to be able to take part of this show. I think you're doing wonderful. I think you're doing amazing, putting together people from abroad, artists from abroad, and having them share their stories. So thank you. One of the songs that I would end the segment with, I would sing a song of mine called Smile. And the part that I like the most goes, have a little hope, have a little faith. Yeah, it gets real hard, trust me, I know. But keep a positive mindset. Don't let the negative bring you down. Just believe in your strength and certainly never lose your smile. Keep a smile on your face. Smile, 'cause in the end it'll be okay. Smile no matter what you're going through. Smile, don't let anyone take that from you. Smile, yeah, yeah.
Nice. Thank you so much, Ikirezi, for taking your time to speak to us on the Roots and Wings Iwacu. We really appreciate your time and for letting us know your journey and also inspire others who maybe want to become artists or who may be passing or going through the same path and want some advice. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. God bless you.
Now that was today's episode. You can check her songs on her YouTube channel, and also you can visit her page on Instagram and also see the work she does in mental health. Today's conversation with Ikirezi reminded us that music not only connects us to our heritage, but also gives us the courage to explore new horizons. And as we wrap up today's episode, let her journey inspire you to embrace your own story wherever it takes you. And until next time, keep your heart open and your spirit soaring. We hope to see you on the next episode. Goodbye.